People will do the most unimaginable things in the name of science, but attempting to spy on God could never be one. Or could it? Presented by Stravard Lux Publishing House. The God Maps, Volume 1. Written by Yvette Kendall. Read by William Wells. Being a better human being is often obstructed by being human. Yvette Kendall. Forward. It's true, time is relative. Depending on the time period in which you lived, explanations for the manifestations of the unknown would have gone into one of three categories: magic, science, or God. A wise man understands that they are all one and the same. For those who don't believe the possibilities and the steps with which you can arrive there is a term you may use, and that term is science fiction. For those who believe and understand that everything exists at the same time, the right now, and that we are in diligent pursuit of the how to get there, we have a more powerful term. And it's called prefaction. Prefaction, the state of particular knowledge, concepts, products, and or processes before it enters into a non-fictional status. Existing in prefaction is where you have to be in order to go places that others can barely imagine. Chapter 1. For identification purposes, you may call me Old Soul. I can't share with you who I truly am, but I belong to a recondite society that documents extraordinary world-changing events which have taken and will take place throughout the history of mankind. These events will be sealed until the future generations are intellectually, spiritually, and physically prepared to utilize this data. Reason being, the magnitude of this information will allow them to critically elevate in knowledge and thus give them the ability to transcend space and time. We've been requested to shadow and document the complete research and experiences of Lab J71. This report is written and told from an Archimedean point, done with details I assembled through direct conversation, research notes, and one-on-one interviews with the lab and other associated persons. Here is my report. Located somewhere in the depths of Stromford University's research building is an undisclosed lab, where 5 of the brightest young minds in fringe scientific research formed an illustrious team. Together, they used their respective skills to access and dissect things that are outside the scope of human understanding. The team members involved are as follows: Dr. Amira Mahar, a noted cryptologist; D.K. Nero, a leader and innovator in the field of coding; Dr. Chad Peterson, one of the youngest neuroscientists to win the Brain Research Prize; Raj Patel, M.D., a pioneer in medicine and stem cell research; and finally, Lisa Kim, an astrophysicist who holds 31 unchallenged patents and majored in mathematical physics. One night, the team gathered together and huddled over a curious ticking machine. They have in recent years perfected the process of immaculate existential transitional advancement pairing, i.e. TAP. Modern technology finds have bestowed upon them the privilege of experiencing 0.00 failed attempts, which in turn has given them 100% accuracy with each and every subject that is processed. Their positive output ratio is impeccable. Their latest upgrades have given them the ability to process mass subjects at one time, a capability for which they've long searched. Here is a taste of a day in their lab. The phone rings, and the team is informed that 4 people have just arrived in holding. Everyone is tremendously excited. They are ready and waiting in anticipation for their guest to die. Not far from them, Hovering over computers and data machines are several bodies in large, horizontal casket-like glass capsules with what appear to be digital locks affixed to the outsides of the enclosures. One of the 5 team members briskly walks to the capsules to check the numbers on the meters. She calls for the others, who by that time are already en route to view the latest data. Peering into one of the capsules, Amira, the cryptologist, says, "It's time to tag." At that very moment, the body in the first capsule begins to flail, gasping for air and clawing at the glass. She quickly punches a sequence of numbers into the meter on the capsule unit and then repeats that same sequence of numbers into the computer. The input has to be exact, or this death will be for nothing. She knew that this was much more than an experiment. These are people, and that meant something to her. The subject in the capsule dies quickly, and the numbers on the meter frantically gauge up and down before suddenly locking in on a 26-digit code with dashes here and there. The group races over to another computer. A map of the galaxy is shown on its monitor with a layover of numbers that resemble latitude and longitude coordinates peppered throughout the face of the computerized map. It has a fifth dimension quality to it, as if you could physically step into it and experience the universe unencumbered. Here is what we have learned about their plans thus far. This group came together out of a similar curiosity. Where does the soul go after death? Not so much in the esoteric sense, but more in the cosmic location sense. They feel that the soul is a quantum entity that acts as the program for the computer of our brain and exists independently outside the physical body after death. With that collective understanding and armed with their respective skills, they developed an astral algorithm and locator system. Its job is to capture the soul upon leaving the body and tag it and track it with a specialized biological, mechanical, algorithmic software that has been created by the team. A united link is established between the abstract and the mechanical, and their software can analyze and give unlimited destination addresses to the entire universe and beyond. The soul tagging system is nothing short of miraculous. This process is so sensitive and distinctive in nature that its scientific implications may not be fully known for the next 1,000 years. This tracking system involves the combination of extreme coding, ancient text, and decoding. This includes brainwave activity that's transcribed into a newly created mathematical language. The final steps are to factor in personal vibrations, sound waves, magnetism, UV radiation, and nanotechnology. There are a few more processes involved, but patent protection is not a viable option for the group at the moment, so they won't disclose anything more than this. The delivery mechanism is just as complicated, but has proven to be an excellent fit for all these critical components. The glass capsules are hermetically sealed and levitate over extremely sensitive, specialized scale sensors. Once a subject dies, the weight reduces minutely by a specific number of grams. That weight reduction informs them that the soul has separated from the body. The tagging system is automatically initiated because they only have a matter of milliseconds to complete the process, or the soul will be gone for good. With this tracking software, the locational possibilities are endless. However, this excludes the black hole zone. They cannot track in the black hole because of its vacuum functionality. The team shared the following statement. We have given every known and possible location in the galaxy unique and distinctive addresses in order to keep up with our subjects. Amira volunteered to give me information. She has been one I have become particularly fond of. She explained it as follows. This program is extensive. Not only can we track the souls, but we can quantify what they are feeling or sensing, such as happiness, sadness, euphoria, or pain.
Another bonus of the algorithm is that we are also aware of any instances where tagged souls are together in the same vicinity at the same time. Our aim is to obtain the physical locations of heaven and hell, the alpha and beta. At the very least, we want to find out whether or not these souls are congregating and what they are experiencing the moment they do meet. That should give us an agreeable consensus on where the souls could be, and if theology is applicable. This could finally end the debate of the religious status of the Bible, if it is a literal compilation of historical miraculous facts, or if it should be shelved as allegorical mythology.
This elusive data has been aptly dubbed the GOD Maps by the team. During their research, they came across the studies of a scientist who had engaged in the soul's functionality. He studied the soul when it was tethered to a body and when it was external to the body, to which he said the following. It turns out that the human brain could be similar to a biological computer and that the human consciousness may be like a program run by a quantum computer within the brain. What's even more astonishing is that after someone dies, his or her soul goes back to the universe, and it does not die. These scientists have long argued that the soul is maintained in microtubules of brain cells. Introductory observation entry. Amira has never really been one for theatrics, but explaining the science behind her tagging system brings out her inner Rod Sterling. After she comfortably situates herself in the chair across from me, she goes into the specifics of the team's work. Before she begins to speak, she comments on how it is a privilege to speak to such a being in person. I smile and nod, but am careful not to get too close to her. My presence isn't exactly compatible with an organic. Observing is a fixed position for me, as it is for a few others like me. Something happened a while back that has caused me to be cautious, something dreadful that I regret to this day. I had tried to mate with an organic, only once, and it resulted in a damning entity that changed the balance of life. The universe was charged a heavy price for my indiscretion. Amira leans in coyly, chattering away. This isn't the time, but my curiosity gets the better of me. I let myself lightly graze the back of her hand. I barely touch her, but it's enough to sway her course. To Amira, she is still in conversation with her guest, but in actuality, I give her a piece of me that will take a lifetime to digest. I will be a passenger for all her undertakings. I will go wherever she goes, and I will know what she knows. For all intents and purposes, this meeting is just a formality for the forever records. In touching her, a seed was planted for all that is to come. I am here for more than a report. My true job is done, as I have collected abundant information, but there is still much more to learn. After all, she and her team have done something spectacularly tyrannical to God. The details of this feat must be catalogued. Like they say, the devil is in the details, and she is about to make it plain. I move out of her flesh and restore myself as the polite visitor with whom she is enamored. I chuckle as she continues, eyes bright and mind racing.
Allow me to get technical for a moment, she says. This will help you better understand what you will be seeing and hearing in our lab and have a foundation on why we are doing the things that we are doing. It's of central importance that you understand how the human consciousness works within the body, so you can then understand the independent power that it has outside the body. The stars of the show are microtubules. They are conveyor belts inside our cells. They move like independent tiny muscles. They operate as a computerized toy Lego set. We think that microtubules are quantum computers, computers that process data extremely fast, as well as being the seat of human consciousness.
I sit back and ponder everything I've learned and take in what she is telling me. With an ear-to-ear grin, Amira continues.
Their lifestyle is quite remarkable. Allegedly, when human beings are clinically dead, the microtubules in the brain lose their state of being, but are still able to retain the data inside of them. Let's say the heart stops beating, the blood stops flowing, and the microtubules lose their current state of being.